Welcome back to the Reality Rejects. My name is Jacob.
I'm Donadio.
And I'm Branden.
And on today's episode,
We're talking about growing apart from people. Whether it be divorce, losing a best friend, losing a friend, or just growing up.
that's just kind of a part of life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
people, it's funny because you'll find yourself in a time, or at least we've been in moments in our lives where, you're really close to somebody, and then you look at now and you're like, I haven't talked to that motherfucker in like
Years.
Like,
and that's the thing. When we were growing up, we all had like childhood best friends, like in first grade, second grade, whatever, right? I don't know if you guys still have the same best friend when you guys were growing up, when you were kids. But not now. Like in first grade, I had this one friend. We're still cool, but we weren't like best friend, like not best friends no more. Like we still cool, but like I had a friend that I'd known since first grade until like maybe sophomore year. We kind of followed apart. But that's just normal. Like it's happens.
it just happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I couldn't really keep a best friend consistently for the first half of my life because I was moving place to place to place.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
I mean, every, like, best friend I've had pretty much, like, they were consistent for when I lived there. But, like, once I moved here, like, you guys know Colin. Like, Colin is, he's my best friend, been since I've moved here pretty much. Like, not at first, but, like, that's grew together. We're talking about growing apart. There was actually, like when I first moved here, I actually used to hang out one of my neighbors.
Yeah.
You guys would know him, but I'm not going to say the name.
Okay.
But, like, one of my neighbors, we actually used to hang out, like, all the time. Like, every day, pretty much. Like, and then, we eventually just kind of grew apart. I think it was just because, like, I think since we hung out every day, like, he was kind of just getting, like, a little like, damn, this is every day.
Oh,
I want to do this every day. Yeah,
Too
so
clingy?
then, yeah. I'm a clingy friend.
Or
I was, I guess.
I guess I was playing Valheim.
That's why I changed it to I was. I was a clingy friend. And then, literally after that, like, I was like, oh, well, shit. Okay.
Yeah,
You know
Are you
what?
still cool though, or like nah?
What? Yeah, no. We're still cool. We're still
It's just
cool.
not what it was.
Yeah.
Lightning
It's just
in a
like
bottle.
we stopped like hanging out as much, like, and that was pretty much it.
But like I feel like that happens with like not only with friendships, also like relationships too. Like we all had like relationships in the past.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we're all like we're all broken up with at least one of them or whatever. So like it's normal for people like falling apart. Even like marriages too. Like people get divorced. I feel like it's a high rate too.
I mean, I think I saw someone threw out a number the other day where it's like 50% of all marriages end in divorce.
Is that actually true?
It's something big like that.
So
Wait.
it was funny because I was watching a podcast and it was talking about divorce, and I believe it was like 40-50%. I think it was even maybe 50%. But it says 70 to 80% is it's women that starts the divorce.
Really?
And then it goes up to 90% if the woman went to college.
Because she knows to leave shitty men. Because she goes to college.
So,
and educated to get out of shit. What does that mean? Why?
I think it's because
What's that statistic mean?
well, if it's going by like the old times, it's like usually the man is the breadwinner, and then like they support for like the woman or something, or usually the supporting person like is the one who would probably get more annoyed, like if someone's not pulling their weight, I would suppose, and it's like, is that like what it shows? Like, because I looked it up, it's like 40 to 50% of marriages, and then 60 to 67% of second marriages.
I can't speak for like the number or like for other people's experiences, but I know that like I've grown up in like with people around me that like I don't think I know a lot of marriages that have ever like made it, or any marriages that are like still going on that are like happy or healthy. Like my aunt and uncle are probably the happiest couple I've ever met.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that outside of like this household. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't seem like, I know that it's out there,
right.
but from like my exposure, like that's
all you see.
That's all I've seen.
And like that's the same thing with like me. Like my parents been together, gonna be 30 years now. So since high school. So like, and that's rare to come by. And like all like,
it's kind of sad to say.
100%. Like a lot of my friends.
What?
No,
I just got that thought that thanks to mom and dad for sticking two together because we don't know how. From Hey Ya, that song that we sang when we were going down to Hey Yeah. Thanks to mom and dad for sticking two together because we don't know how. You know what I mean? You know. It's. I mean, to build off what you were saying, like mom and dad, like maybe older generations it's different, but like I would say like around millennials to now, it's just like no one knows how to stick together.
So like it's funny because like what I was talking, like when I was watching this podcast, they were saying because like back in the day it was not, you weren't communicating with the person throughout the day. Now you have a phone, so you're talking to your girlfriend, your wife, for pretty much all day, talking about certain incidents that's going throughout your day. And when you come home,
nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
So like you don't have nothing to talk about, and also too, like I think during 2020, during the pandemic, there was such a high spike of divorces because people were home for so long, so they really didn't.
Everyone was getting on each other.
Is that actually a fact? Like there was like
there was a huge spike in divorce during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
That's like the worst time. You think people would stick together more because they're struggling with money, but
I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
I think that's exactly what happened.
Most of the divorces are because of like money. Like money's probably the biggest problem.
But wouldn't you want to stay together for the time being and then divorce later on when money's not a problem?
No, because then you get sick of the person. It's just like you're so miserable.
Because that's such a big argument.
I mean, like like if you're like dating and then all of a sudden maybe you are living together, but you're not. You have jobs, you have careers. Maybe you're not talking all day, and then it's being forced to have to talk all day and now work at home. It's like you just are never away from this person. Which, like, some people have that, like, mindset of, like, oh, I could be with them every living second. But, like, could you?
No.
It's not really... And a lot of people were put to the test on that,
And also, too, like, I feel like, there's stages of relationships, right? Like, the first couple months is puppy love. Like, you always want to be with the person. Sure. Like, there's... I feel like in a relationship, there should be a want in a relationship because you shouldn't be with the person every single day because you're gonna get bored of it. If you eat the same food every single day, you're gonna get bored of it, right? And I'm not saying like, oh no, like, oh, you're gonna get tired of it. But I mean, like, perfect example, like talking every single day on the phone. You don't have nothing to talk about on the dinner table.
My challenge to that would be that me personally, I've realized, like, I can't, like, as a person, just, like, not, I always want to be doing things. Mm-hmm. Some people call me, like, an iPad kid, right. Or, like, which is possible, maybe, because I'm, like, always listening to, like, a podcast. Like, I don't really like to just sit in my own thoughts, which means that I really don't like to sit in my own thoughts with somebody else around. Right. And so I usually I do things, like, it's not even about, like, always having, like, a conversation between, like, our lives, but to experience things together.
Right.
Like, I would say that you could get bored if you are if you have nothing to do. Like, if you're locked in a house with somebody and you've expended, like, every video game in your house and you watch all the movies, like, you really have nothing to do except talk to each other. Like, that sounds like hell. That sounds like absolute hell. But, to be able to, like, have your own life and then also, like, when you have that time to be able to, like, play a video game that you would usually play on your own with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like those opportunities, just, like, experience things.
But also, too, like, going, like, like, I like to go to the gym. So, like, sure. Bringing them to the gym or, like, go on hikes. It's all... what's the word? Suspend?
Suspend?
No. make something longer.
Expand?
Yeah.
Oh.
Different things, with a person. Like, I don't know why else would a person like why else something will fall apart.
One thing I actually heard, my grandparents told me this. It's like, just back in the day, people just didn't get divorces because, like, first off, because of money. It's like, if we got a divorce, we're both going to be fucked financially. Right. So we're just going to stick together. You're dealing with me, I'm dealing with you. And then things just ended up working out in the end. Yeah. Like, my grandma, she was like, there's been times where I wanted to divorce his ass, but stuck together. And, like, my grandpa will just laugh about it. And it's just like, but, like, in the end, we still love each other. It's
right.
like, and it's like, they just stuck together. It's just like, that's what you do. Like, you made a vow, and that's what it was. Nowadays, people just see it as an easy out, and it's like, oh, I don't like this anymore. I'm bored of this. And people just do what they want, and they're like, bye-bye.
But that's the thing, like, maybe I'm a sucker for it, but, like, in my head, like, if I'm going to marry someone, I would make this clear with them. This is it. Like, there's no out.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would be.
There's no out. Unless you fucking cheat on me, yeah, that's a fucking out. But, like, even I know people that are married and, like, the person got cheated on, they cheated on the person, and they worked through it, which is great.
Well, it's some for I know a few people like that, and all of them are different, but yeah, it's interesting, like the perspective that's like it's just like a mistake. Yeah. Like, we can grow from it. Like, don't do it again type of thing. I don't think I work that way. Right. I respect that perspective.
No, 100%.
Definitely. And I would 100%. Not like I would never tell someone that's wrong. Not okay. Like, I don't know what, like, your relationship. It's none of my business. Right. But for me, it's like, it's trust.
Mm-hmm.
And, I need to know beforehand. I need to be able to trust. You know?
Yeah. Like, and is that why you don't want to get married?
Well, I think it's a mix of, like, my own shitty household mixed in with just, like, the other shitty households that I would, like, be surrounded by.
He was just zoned.
He was in thought. Like, I had, like, whenever I wasn't home, maybe I'd be at, like, a family friend's house, and more often than not, the family friend's house also had a shitty marriage, or where I am right now, it is in a like, their marriage is shitty, and I didn't understand when I was younger. Like, it's just like, so, it just doesn't. First of all, I just don't have a good picture of it in my head.
Right.
I know that it's romanticized and, like, it's great, but, like, I feel in my head, I feel like you can have everything and still be, like, have that free control to, like, like, I don't think that I need to be married and, like, recognized in the government, especially I hope that, like, by working hard and, like, focusing on, like, my goals and, like, getting things done, that I'd be able to, like, support that expectation of myself, to be like, I don't need to get married to be committed to somebody, and I don't need, like, I don't need the, like, this piece of paper that could, if in any case, like, really, really affect me in the future. Mm-hmm. I don't think that that's something I need to have happen. Right. Right. I know that there's tax benefits, something like that. Like, I would prefer to, like, adapt myself to a life where I maybe have to be more conscientious of, like, the higher tax rate in order to, like, just live that way. Like, I don't want to. I think I have a really hard time with feeling trapped with things, though. Right. Like, I'm always, like, if I feel like I'm in a corner, I just, like, I go fucking Pharaoh. I just, right. Like, I just, like, if I feel like I'm in a corner, I just, like, all hell breaks loose, and I feel like.
Is that why we keep you in the center of the couch?
The walls, the walls, the corners get too hot because they're always 90 degrees.
He'll be here all week, folks.
So. I think that definitely is, like, trust is a big part of it, but I think it's also just, like, I'd prefer to just never have to be feeling trapped.
Right.
I don't want, like, I don't think that I think I could be happy someone could be happy for long term. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion on it,
No, I feel like it's a great point. Like, I feel like it's not wrong to think that. Like, my parents, 18 years.
Right, which is wild. That's amazing.
Like they were together for 18 years, and then like they were engaged.
Sure.
They got engaged, I believe, 4 or 5 months when they started dating.
Right.
So it was, and obviously they had kids, whatever. They had me and my brother. So 18 years they were not married, and then they decided to get married. One, because my dad was getting sick, whatever. So like decided for like the benefits.
Yeah,
whatever.
of course.
They decided to get married, and but my dad's whole thing, even my mom's whole thing, they both said it, like, we're not going anywhere. Like, we've been together for this long, and like nothing else is gonna change. It's just a piece of paper.
Right. They've been
like,
married for 18 years.
Or engaged.
Right. But like,
yeah,
like the word, like,
but like that's still married. You still have a house. You have 2 kids. All your finances pretty much together.
So you're saying marriage isn't the documents? It's the.
Really? Yeah, I mean it doesn't have to be. I don't think it has to be.
It's what you make.
I think the documents are just like that's like the minute the documents.
You could
get
have a
involved,
marriage with the person without having paperwork.
I feel like the minute that not in the eyes of the government, but like to yourself. Yeah, I mean like it's to your it's each person's.
My
individual
mom doesn't
value,
like my parents, like they're married, but like my mom doesn't have my dad's last name. Like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because more the fact of, like, technically she's a De Jesus, but, like, she doesn't do it because we say she was a little lazy. She doesn't want to change her Social Security, her paperwork.
Which I respect.
Right.
That's awesome.
She just tags along on all the family trips. She's not paying for it.
That's funny. Yeah, I feel like it just, I don't know. There's no need for any other external force to have to be in some sort of control, to have someone else's hand. It just feels like it's like, oh, you want to be happy with somebody?
Sign this paper.
Sign this.
Right.
I don't think it's
like
necessary.
making it.
I feel like that's
devil,
just
like,
society. Society kind of made it.
Yeah, it's just a social.
But like, also, too, like back in the day, like how they say the Bible tells you have to marry someone. Back in the day, when Jesus was walking, people were getting married by court.
I don't know, man. I wasn't there. I don't know. I could tell you.
What about when Jesus was crawling? He was a baby once.
I guess so. Touche. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's the same thing with like the social, like the
friendship,
like when you get engaged, like or like like a wedding ring.
Right.
Like it's all. I think it's just a societal thing. It's a social construct.
Yeah.
What is it to give like this metal ring with a shiny rock?
Right.
What does that really mean?
Right.
To us, it doesn't mean that like that wouldn't be what I do, because that's what literally everybody's brains have been developed to like expect, want, and experience. Like that is what it is.
I find a ring as the dumbest shit. It's like. That is like the dumbest shit to me. Like, why does it need to be an expensive ass ring?
But I agree that I don't see the same value in that. But I understand that just because like that's the way that's just how it is.
Yeah.
That the value of that ring isn't even. It comes down to not what it like. It's not important to me. It's not about me.
But that's the thing,
and
like some girls really care about how much that ring is, how big that rock is.
Dude, there was a girl who was like, yeah, I want a $50K ring minimum. Like I saw online. I'm like,
bro, I be seeing girls saying that. Oh, I want my man.
Like,
I want my man to make a minimum $500,000 a year. What the fuck?
It's like, do you know how much money that is? Who the fuck are you gonna find?
I want a man that makes a minimum of $250,000.
Have you guys seen the female delusion calculator?
No.
Oh my god, I wish we had. So I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I'm scared now.
I'm like, oh my god.
So no. It's legitimate scientific facts. It takes scientific facts of the ideal man that they want, the salary, their height, their race, everything. It's like, how many of these people exist in the world?
How do they get this scientific fact of
by like literally every person who exists, like every known person?
Yeah.
They take those people and they're like, okay, like here, like what's the age range? Give me an age range.
Oh, so like you pick.
Yeah, you pick what your ideal man is for all the minimums. Like what?
So what kind of man I want? Okay.
Yeah.
Minimum 32.
32, and then maximum of.
So was this like?
Minimum. So maximum 32, minimum 20.
So is this like the female equivalent of Build-A-Bitch, but for men? No, the Bella
Okay,
Post
okay.
Yeah, no,
And
is
then,
that what this is? Is that what you're showing me? Like,
Yeah, this
like
is for like how many of men would have so like race, any race, white, black, Asian.
wait, but I'm really
I'm not
confused.
picky.
So like, what is this? This is like if I
So
was
like
if I was a woman and I wanted to build a man, I would
like
So no,
use
it tells you. Okay.
it tells you how many of these type of men actually exist. So if you said I want like a 6'10" like black guy who makes a minimum of $200K a year, it's like there's like
it
only
just runs a statistic.
yeah, it runs a statistic of how many documented people there are that actually like 6'10" black men that like or 6'10" and taller black men that
Well, you know,
that make
the world is only so big. I feel like there's an opportunity for anything, you know.
But like,
no wait, give me an example. What race? Choose a race.
Are you screen recording?
I can screen record.
Pick a race.
Okay, wait.
Um.
So we said what's it called? We said 20 to 32. It's a good range.
Okay.
20 to 32. Do we want to exclude married people or include married people?
You know, I don't want to be a house wrecker. Let's exclude married people.
Exclude married people. Okay. And any specific race or does
what
it
are my
not matter?
options?
Any race or well no, it actually says any color or shade. White, black, or Asian.
White, black, or Asian? No, let's go any. You know, I'm not
Any?
discriminatory.
Okay.
not racist.
Minimum height.
Let's go 5'9".
Okay.
Above average for a
Above
man.
average.
All right, and then exclude obese.
Yeah, I don't want no fat.
What's wrong with maybe he's a good eater.
Are
Who
we
knows?
excluding or including?
What if he likes food? What if he needs a good,
So you want him?
storage bank?
You want a big man?
No, keep him healthy.
All right, minimum income.
Minimum?
Yeah.
Is he happy with his life?
What is the
Like,
minimum income you want your man to make?
75K.
There's an option for any.
75 a year?
75 a year.
Okay.
I'd be okay with 50 if need be.
75, 50. We'll go 60. We'll go in the middle. Okay. Find out. Let's
So
see.
what does this do?
This is now going to... Okay. So, according to statistical data, the probability of a guy in the U.S. male population ages 20 to 32 that meets your standard is 3.5%.
Wow.
So, you have a 3 out of 5 delusion score. Aspiring cat lady.
Wait, delusions?
Yeah.
A delusion?
So,
score?
yeah. You're looking for a not married, any race, at least 5'9", minimum, not obese, and earning at least $60K per year at the ages 20 to 32.
Is this like
Bless you.
is this like an app that like divorced women use?
No, it's just like you could literally like if you hear like like have just a female that she has super high standards, have her put her in like what she wants in a man in this, and then you could literally see like.
But what does that statistic actually like say? Is it trying to tell her that it's an unrealistic standard?
Yes, unrealistic standards because that's how many people. So for
what is the downside of unrealistic standards?
You're not gonna find anyone.
Do you think that's true?
Well, if there's like 1 or 2 people in the U.S. who actually meet those standards, then yeah, the odds of you meeting that person is insanely low.
I don't know, man. I feel like if you really look for it, if it's meant to be, I think that's what it will come to you. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's having high standards about certain things, but like something like height, like race, all that kind of stuff. That's where I know you have to be attracted to the person. That is an important factor.
Do you think it's discriminatory if someone like doesn't want to date black people?
I don't think it's
Like, if they're
discriminatory.
like black people aren't my type. Like with that like.
No. If they're like that's not my type. If they're like I hate black people, them
Right,
that's a different
that's where the
story.
issue comes from,
If they're
yeah.
like they're not my type, that's not.
I
they're
feel
not their type.
like so I I don't know if that website's so accurate. It feels like a website with an agenda. It feels like it has a specific agenda, different from like the point that I think it's trying to make. Do I feel crazy for that? It feels like a website with an agenda. I don't know if it's as accurate. Like I know that like those expectations are weird, but I also like I want to look at that like. If you're a woman looking for a guy who's et cetera, but falls into like some of those categories and surprises you in ways that you weren't initially expecting that chart can't really provide you, then I feel like it would be a different story.
Because like I feel like also too, like I'm not saying all of them, but or not any, but like most people, some people find people attractive like just personality,
right?
You know, like look at Jacob. Jacob's not a handsome guy. But his personality pulls bitches.
I can make people. I'm funny sometimes.
Exactly. Like what's it called? I actually had
Look
at
me. I'm handsome. I'm not funny.
He's so beautiful, isn't he?
Oh my God! You left the spot.
Yeah, what can I
you
say?
hit him so hard.
Well, you know, I like to treat him well.
I don't know. Like, have you guys just? You were saying before about relationships. Like, is there any like friendships or anything that you guys just like grew apart from?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
a big friendship though, not just like a.
Well,
Definitely.
my childhood
Friendship.
like best friend, like we kind of fell apart. Like, we still talk here and there. My man got 2 kids now, so like.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How old is he?
2?
2
Who I'm thinking of?
from high school.
Whoa! What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What's the name start with?
No. We'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
But he's 22. With
That's
2 kids.
crazy.
2 kids.
That's
Is
crazy.
he happy?
Yeah, he seems happy.
Oh, so why'd you guys grow apart though? Like what?
You know, like he dropped out of high school.
I know. I think I know who it is.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
It's okay. We'll talk about. We can talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Let's not dwell on
But
it.
we just fell apart. We didn't have no classes anymore in high school, and kind of Jacob just waddled his way into my little heart.
Waddle?
You know what I mean?
Now I'm just imagining Jacob
Yeah,
waddling into
yeah.
a room and you see him and you're like, that's the one. I don't know why. That's just how I imagine.
Moving away definitely is a big factor. Like I used to move all the time, so when I finally like landed somewhere and then made like a good friend and then moved again, like they just fell into like the mix of all the other ones. I lightly keep in touch with him on Snapchat. I actually hung out with him over like maybe last summer. I think I saw him last. You know,
He's in the military, isn't he?
No, but one of my friend that in the Army, but no, he still lives in the same hometown. Does stocks.
Dope.
It's very cool. He's super successful. Super proud of him. We're not like close like we used to be.
What about that Xbox friend that you had?
No, that's him. That would be.
Wait, the one who's like, I don't like black people.
No, that was Mr. Juggernuggets. Juggernuggets?
No, that's a YouTuber.
Mick Juggernuggets. No, not you're right. It is
Mick Juggernuggets.
Moneybags. Mr. Moneybags. I apologize. That
Mick
was
Juggernuggets. Oh, you knew Mick
Mick
Juggernuggets?
Juggernuggets. No, yeah, it was Mr. Moneybags. That was the one who didn't like black people. Yeah. Had no idea that I was black. Told me all his whole feelings on that. No, this is my friend. We went from like elementary school up to like almost the end of middle school together, like really, really close. And just moved. And then it just kind of falls apart. And then like when I went into middle school, like the end of middle school into high school, I made friends with that one friend.
The lady.
And then that did not last. I think more than like 6 years, 5 years.
Which is
That's a
still
good amount of time. Yeah, exactly.
But she was in love with him for half of it.
We don't want to get into this.
I think we did.
She pours her heart out in his 18th birthday.
That one.
Yeah. So, Anyway, yeah. So it obviously did not last. Which is like I think when I look back on friendships like that, you can kind of recognize like the stepping stones of like trying to become like a real person and like the mistakes that kind of get made, in friendships that from a long time ago.
But like I feel like people come in your life for stepping stones, life lessons for certain different things, relationships, friendships, whatever it is. Like even like us three, like me and Jake were always close in high school, but like even like Donati, we weren't really that close with him.
Oh yeah, no, we like never talked until like the end of high school, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Until AMC, really, like none of us ever like. Well, I mean, me with you two, like never really talked to either of you guys, and then you guys came to AMC, and I'm like, oh, now I know these guys.
I wasn't that guy from gym class anymore.
You weren't just that guy from gym class anymore.
Yeah.
I knew your name though. You make it seem like I just knew you. It's like, oh yeah, that's that guy.
There's no way you knew my name.
I did. No, I heard your name. It was because of him.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
No, but like I've moved around a lot. Like let's see, I think I've said all the places I moved. I like started in New Jersey, Arizona, New Jersey, Arkansas, Massachusetts, Illinois, New Jersey, and then New Jersey again inside New Jersey.
It's Illinois, not Illinois.
Illinois, maybe Illinois.
Illinois?
Doesn't matter to me. It's just something that popped in my brain. Is noticed. Anyway, you moved around all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I still actually like. Sometimes I'll reach out to like some of the old people I used to like hang out with. When I was a kid, I hung out with a lot of girls. I noticed that. What happened to me? Why can't I do that anymore? I wish.
Games.
I'm jealous. You know what? You're very right. That's literally it. You know what? Fair point.
Well, didn't you say that one story on the podcast about you were playing with this girl on the bouncy house or like a trampoline, and you guys were playing around, and then your pee just stands up. You're like,
no. It wasn't on a trampoline. Was it on a trampoline? I don't remember. Yeah, the first time. You guys remember the stories of when you first got your first bonus? I think that was. I don't think I told that on the podcast though. I think I just told that to you in secrecy, Brandon, but now we're just talking about it. I remember that. I remember. I'm just like, what's happening? I don't like this.
You don't like it?
Nah, I was like, oh.
We're in the middle of this conversation. Brandon goes, remember your first boner?
Yeah, I'm just like.
Oh, Brandon, what? Oh, it's good stuff.
Good thing is,
no,
young me knew to hide it.
No. What?
Young me knew to hide it. I don't even know how, but young me.
You were like, all right, well, good job. Classy man.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. But, yeah, I miss, like, some of those guys. Like, some of those guys I know I would have gotten along with, like, well these days. Like
As an adult?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Because I feel like I've heard it enough times from other people to know that, like, where we are right now in our age, I feel like in due time we will also consider this really young.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, my God. Yeah. Even in 10 years from now, we'll, like, still consider it young.
Do you also, like, think about, like, when we start, like, getting older and, like, starting to have family and shit, and certain, like, I'm sure we will fall apart in some way, in certain ways.
After we all end up killing each other like we did in that one episode.
That one podcast where we all died. The growing up and growing, moving away thing. Well, it looks like that's how it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, every parent has, like, it feels like the minute people get married, it's like friends.
Right.
What are those?
What was that?
No, 100%. And, like, they come friends with, like, just their, who they work with.
Sure,
Yeah, friends becomes a lot with people you meet at work and, like, you talk to people you met in high school less and less over time.
But like, I think that's
College.
what it comes down to, because I feel like, you know, you make friends what you have in common. So you make friends in school because you have certain things in common. Then you grow up, you lose things apart. And then you make other friends what you're common with, have in common. And then you get older, you have kids, you have families, or whatever. You don't really have time to really sit down on a Monday and shoot a podcast with your two homies when you have kids. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you make it your job, then you can. Make this our job, guys, please. But then
I'm just thinking about like just the whole like.
Are we giving you an existential crisis?
No, existential. Yeah, I'm just like. No, I'm thinking about just like how. I don't know. I don't think about it.
Right.
I'm very much
in the moment.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe it's in the moment. Maybe I'm just like
delusional.
Mayhaps.
No, I'm with you. I literally live so much in the moment. I'm like, I'm trying to like.
I think about that shit all the time, though. Not all the time, but like I be thinking about it. Like, you don't know, like in like 10 more years, you know, where are we? You know, I know like Jacob. Maybe in 10 more years, Jacob's movie career, you know, pops off. We're dead.
Jacob, if you can make that thing in the can right there, I will pay the money that you owe.
Make what in the can?
The thing that just dropped.
My hair?
Yeah.
He made it.
He didn't make it.
I saw it.
Did you not see that? I literally.
I saw it.
Yeah, I was watching as well.
So then, what were you gonna give me?
You didn't make it. I would pay off your debts.
10 years from now, the Rejects divorce, or the Rejects
Make
studio.
out.
What?
That's not where you're going with that?
It is not.
But like, that's the thing. Like, you know, like where do we know where we're gonna go? You were talking about California. Me and Donati always talks about Texas.
Texas would be nice.
I don't want to live in California for long.
Why do you want to go there then?
Hollywood.
Wait. But then do you not have to stay there if your career hits off?
I might be there for a little bit. I don't want to stay. I don't care.
Wait, but
He turns into a California like bad bitch, Hollywood bad bitch. LA just takes him over. Next time you see him, he has sunglasses all the time, a fur coat. He's like, I don't talk to you peasants anymore.
I don't want to go. I got time. I got time.
honestly, I don't know. Like, there's so many people like that. You kind of, do you guys miss it at all? Like, miss the people you've grown apart from? Or do you think it's, like, an important thing that you need and, like, it's something that was meant to happen?
Meant to happen. I really don't think about that. You know, like, I think about, like, everything's a learning lesson, you know, stepping stones. And also, too, like, it especially with my, like, friends, like, old friends, it just happened. It wasn't, like, you know, like a breakup with a person. You know, you actually go through it. You know, you have to make it clear you're breaking up. With a friend, it just
Happens.
It just happens, you know?
Like, you just start to rift apart over time, which is kind of the sad thing. Like, you never know when your last time hanging out is actually going to be.
That's deep.
I think it's how it was. Because I can challenge. I want to challenge this with saying that now that, like, we have technology,
You're never truly.
I think that, like, there's, like, it's different. Like, my mom 20 years ago, who had a friend that she, like, might have grown up with, she might have lost contact because, like, literally, you move away from them at that time, like, there's, like, no way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Now you're in now you find yourself in, like, your 40s, and you're like, oh wow, that person on Facebook, they know this other person, like, maybe I'll friend them, but, like, we'll never talk. You know what I mean? Like, we're not friends. We're not gonna be friends the way we were. Whereas I feel like nowadays, with having a smartphone and social media and having things that I could be doing, like, I have video games, I have sports I have. You know, like I can go out and do things. I feel like easier than you ever could have. I think it should leave itself to have more opportunities to even sure, it's harder to say like super super close, but to like I feel like it's still possible to like hang on to whatever and like, you know, keep that value.
Yeah.
I don't think the value of whatever was or it, you know,
It can't be like
goes away.
Oh, it doesn't go away.
I don't think it just like dwindles just because there's distance. You know, or long periods between that. Like I don't think that what it meant or what like I don't think that needs to diminish.
Okay. So, like, do you feel like the friendship isn't ever really gone, or
I think that for a lot of people, they'll make it that. Like, but I don't think it ever needs to be there. I think that like, it's always been good. There's no like, it's not just because you're not seeing each other as often, or just because like it, you know, it. I feel like it's very possible for it to always be connected nowadays. I don't know if that was always the case, but I feel like there's not really a large excuse if it were to, you know, you don't need to talk to somebody every day for it to mean something. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to talk to somebody every day for it to be,
definitely not.
To be a functional, like, I think that you don't have to talk to somebody every month or every week. Like, but when you do see that somebody, like,
it clicks.
Right, it's just like, it's not, like, that doesn't necessarily just die.
Yeah, Colin and I will sometimes,
away.
like, text each other, like, once a month, and then,
Right.
like, we'll still be close as ever. It's like...
I don't think that it necessarily means that it has to go away.
But some friends you need, like, it seems like some friendships can't last like that.
Some people are not compatible, you know? Like, sometimes, like, there's, like, you'll make, like, a friend in, like, college, and you'll be like, I don't know who the fuck, like, it's one of those things where maybe you can't always see it when you're living in the moment, but, like, I've seen friendships where I've had friends that have made friends who I've been like, you're not going to stay friends with that person. Like that,
yeah,
like,
I thought that
like,
too with people.
Like, you guys are calling each other best friend right now, but you're not going to, like, clear as day, whatever's going on here, like, I know you guys are having a good time, and if I were to say anything right now, like, you'd think I'm getting in between something, and it's definitely because, like, I guess I would be if I told you what was really going on, but it's not going to last. And it doesn't last.
Hey, you know, like, as soon as you said that, like, I'll bleep this out, but the people that I think of is Teresa and Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah, from high school, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, how they were so close, like, oh, that's my best friend. And, like, when they were separated, they both were talking shit about each other.
It doesn't, yeah. It doesn't,
Really?
It's, yeah.
Oh.
I feel like, but, like, when in case studies like that, like, it's clear as day that, like, that's not meant to, like, you know, keep going, but I don't know if that's the majority of cases, you know?
Now, what do you think about, like, growing apart with, like, an ex or something? Or what about people who, like, actually kind of grow closer afterwards? Do you think that's, like, a normal thing or, like, something that should happen? Or, like,
each their own, man.
Okay.
You know?
Like, have you guys ever had that? Like, you broke up with someone and you kind of get closer with them afterwards? Or
I mean, yeah.
No. Like, me and my ex are still cool. We still have, she's my longest streak is like damn near 3,000 days.
God damn.
So like we're still cool. Like we still have conversation here and there. But
I don't talk to my exes.
Oh,
Obviously, but I'm talking like specifically like even the one like my one ex best friend that we mentioned before, like there was like, I mean, it was like we were kids, so I don't know if the relationship really counted. It was really really short, barely,
right.
Like it did not count.
But like also too, like would you like Chrissy? Would Chrissy be okay if you were still talking to your ex? You know?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Probably not. I think that like in most cases, like I don't know. It's one of those things where like wherever people end up is where like that's where it's supposed to be, you know. I feel like if you have a friendship that is like toxic and then it ends up boiling to a point where you can't keep it, like then it's just not going to be kept. If you're like talking to your ex still and you guys have a healthy, respectful relationship where like they respect your boundaries, they understand you're in a relationship, and they are not gonna cross a line, and that's something that like every single person involved in that party can trust and is like comfortable with, then like obviously that passes. But if there's like insecurity and there's like there's like not that level of trust or respect, then like obviously that can't work.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, do you think it's like weird for people like who went through like bad fights, like really bad fights, like to like be closer afterwards, or like?
Do you think that's weird?
Like no. Like say it's something like like they fucking like really dissed one of your family members or something. Like they fucking like ragged on like your parents or something. Like, and then like
Jacob was like, "Go ahead."
someone really close to your aunt and uncle for
Sure,
you.
sure.
And then it's like, and then like you end up being like close with them afterwards again. Like, would you still see them the same, or like would things be different? You know?
They gotta apologize. You know, like if they know what they said was wrong, I'll accept it, but it's one of those things of I'll forgive but not forget. And if something happens again, you're like, yo, we've been over this. Like, what the fuck?
I've never found myself in a situation where I've had to be like, you need to watch your mouth.
Really?
I don't know. I haven't found myself to be in a situation where I've been like, watch what you're saying. I think I've mostly had pretty respectful people around me up to this point, so it's never been like an issue. But I agree with Branden. Like, you definitely need to acknowledge what you're saying. You know, like I often find myself in like the case of like you don't have to like somebody.
Yeah.
I don't care that you don't like somebody. It's not my relationship with that person. Like, if you don't like somebody, don't see that person. You know what I mean? Don't like let's say for instance, yeah, like if you dislike somebody, that's fine. I don't care. But if you're gonna be rude or you're gonna like say some sort of comment, that. I mean, any comment, like any sort of negative comment, I will definitely call out. I'll definitely bring up, and like it either needs to be resolved or there's going to be an issue. But I haven't found myself in that situation.
How about a situation where like someone just said something like so out of line, not like personal to you, but just like to someone, and you're like, this person is not actually who I thought they were. It's like,
I mean, I've got a big mouth. I feel like I mean, if in situations where that does happen, I can't think. It's definitely happened. I think
I'm thinking of one that maybe might apply to you when like with Sarah with her ex, like maybe like that. Like I don't know if that would be a situation for you. Kinda.
Where like, so what's the question?
Like where someone like did it or said something that was like, it's like, wow, this person's actually not who I thought they were, and it like caused you to like cut ties with them or something.
Yeah, I feel like that's different because that was like loyalty. That was like that was for somebody else. Like, I wasn't really like a personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of that stuff that happened with Sarah and her ex. Like, I don't have anything necessarily personal.
Oh, it doesn't have to be personal. It's
but
just...
I definitely like, definitely would beat his ass. Like, like that is my friend. Like, so, respectfully, you know what I mean? But
respectfully.
But like, I think that just comes down to like being a friend. You know, if someone ex use like a TikTok for their ASMR the day they break up with someone, you gotta have that person's back no matter what. Definitely. Sometimes you need to speak up in the service of others. If it's if it's blatantly like disrespectful,
like you're being if it's disrespectful and you're being taken advantage of, you need to be able to use your words.
Right.
You're allowed to speak your own opinion too. Like if something's upsetting you, you need to be able to say that. Mm-hmm. Or like even if it's not about like you get that's not a bad example. I'm mostly on the outside of that, but like for that example, like that upset you. Like, I obviously was in a weird, like, place at that time, and but you stood up, like, you talked about, like, that was fucked up in my opinion. Like, that was you talking about, like, how it was feeling for you, and, I feel like you need to be able to do that. So if someone's being disrespectful to, like, family, friends, like, you need to be able to at least say you don't like that talk.
So I actually have a follow-up question with that. So say one of your best friends for you guys, like, tells you, like, hey, like you're close with another person, you guys are both close with that person, but then, like, say Branden or, like, Jacob, like, either one of you guys, like, you guys tell each other, it's like, hey, I don't want you to be friends with that person anymore, but you're still friends with them, like, and, like, you're pretty good friends with them. Like, what if Jacob said, like, I don't want you to be friends with Donadio anymore?
Fuck him. Fuck Donadio. Donadio who?
I would never. To be clear, I would never.
No. I know you.
Not about you. Not even just general. Like, I don't. Even if I dislike a specific person, I've never said, like, you cannot be around this person. I don't want you hanging out with this person.
That's childish too.
I've never been like that.
Like, you shouldn't give me an ultimatum. Like,
not a chance.
Don't be friends with this person if you want to be friends with me. What the fuck?
There's no world in my opinion. There's no situation where, like, somebody else should get in between, like, anybody's relationship with anybody else. Like do not step on somebody else's shoes.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
not my place.
So would you still be friends with that person then?
Oh, if someone else came up to me and was like, I do not want you to be that person.
Yeah, but if it was, like, your best friend along with one of your other, like, really good friends.
Not a chance. Something. First of all, something needed to have happened, and I need to, like, be able to assess that reasonably. Like, if some shit went down, and I'm like, obviously, like, that's fucked up. Like, there needs something to be done.
They killed my dog.
That would suck.
That would suck, but not good enough.
Well, like, I'm not gonna, like, have a situation like we're backing up. We run your dog over. Like, sorry, I'm not gonna break up with it for you. Like, it's not gonna happen. I forget where the topic was.
If a friend told you to, like, stop
No.
being friends with another girl.
But,
No,
like,
I don't
also
get
too, it's
involved.
the same thing of, like,
I don't have to like
when
somebody
you
and
bring
can still be
in,
friends.
like, a partner of yours, like, you're dating someone, you're just starting dating someone, your friends around you are gonna tell you certain things that you might not see. Like, maybe they're like, oh, like, this girl or whatever is this and that. I personally don't vibe with her, right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right. It's
I don't
not.
care.
It's. But, like, if, perfect example, if, let's say, if one of your not exes, like, a person you date, right, don't get along with your aunt or uncle,
Right.
that's probably a turnoff.
It's pretty much a non-starter.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a non-starter. Yeah.
Right. Or, like, that's the same thing with me. If that person is, like, don't like my parents, like, and my parents don't like them, it's hard for that to ever work. If my parents don't like a girl, for whatever reason, that relationship might not work.
No, but what if you really like them? Like, you're, like, deeply in love.
Then they should be able to get along with my family.
Because in the end of the day, that is my father, that is my mother. No matter what, you have to get along with them. I don't care what the fuck. If you fake it to me, you make it. I don't care. That's still my family.
I don't want them to fake.
But yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
you
no,
shouldn't,
it's
you
like-
shouldn't have you shouldn't have such strong feelings about this, like, my family in that way. Like, that.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're becoming really close with them, like, you should not. There's no chance. Like, you just don't try to come between us.
Right.
Nothing should come. It's just. But I mean, it comes back to the whole thing where it's like nothing should be able to come in between you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you find yourself in a position where you're, like, getting married, like, divorce is common these days, but it shouldn't be.
Right.
Like, you don't, like, people don't know how to stay together.
I feel like people don't plan to get divorced though. Right.
Some people, I think, go into it being like this could happen, and that they prepare for that.
See, that's why I think a prenup's, like, kind of stupid. Like, if you think divorce is happening going into a marriage, I think that's, like, doomed from the start.
Right.
So people like I've saw this this topic before. Podcast talked about this before, and this guy said it. He was like, if a person gets a prenup, that's just a out on a relationship. At that point, just date them.
Right. And that's my whole thing.
But
like at that point, like why can't I just be that for you? But we don't need this paperwork.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what today's date is, but like truly, there's no universe where I would happily get married without a prenup. It just like it just wouldn't happen. But there's also like there's a higher preference. Like I don't want like if I end up getting married, there's a there is a 100% probability that like it was very much an argument and against my interest. You know what I mean? Like it's just like not who I am.
So like, do you? Like, I feel like a lot of girls, you want to get married. That their whole dream is, being that princess for the day. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
But it's just a party. That's fine. We can have the party.
Yeah.
We can do the party. We can do the whole shebang celebration.
Just no paperwork.
I'm just not, like,
So you're okay to do, like, the wedding, but not the paperwork?
If I was with someone and it was, yeah, I mean, I don't think I would do it more than once. Like, it would be pretty, like, yeah, like, that would be, that I would call that woman my wife. I would not, there's no chance.
You would still have kids with that woman, right? If you want kids.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know.
Pull that game too strong.
I don't know. I make movies, and that's all I have an interest in doing.
You don't make.
I can't even agree to that, man.
You pull that game that strong?
Well, man. Well,
It's strong until it ain't. You both chuckled nervously. Like, yeah.
Oh, God damn.
Things happen. Everyone has those days.
When you don't want to wake up because everything is fucked. Everybody sucks. Thank you for watching The Reality Rejects. As we said before, people grow apart. Has this happened to you? Comment below. Let us know.
I hate you guys. I'm done. Goodbye.
Oh, said good though. Wait, we're in his house.
Wait. Well, I'm leaving. Bye. Your house now.
Gives us the deed. Walks right out.
Here you go.
And as always, if you like what you see more here, and you want to see more.
I don't think I was like, this is different.
I tried to experiment. I tried to
restart.
In case I do not.
No, wait. Thank you for watching The Reality Rejects. We are every Friday. Leave a like, comment. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if this happened to you ever. If you've grown apart with people.
Comment below. Let us know.
Maybe that event brought you closer. Maybe you eventually ended up growing closer together after growing apart.
Or maybe you just fucked that mom. You guys have a great evening.
And in case I don't see you.
Have a good night.
No.
Afternoon and morning.
And morning.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
No. Bye.
Not goodbye. See you later.